Omni Edition Sports presents from Garden City High School in Garden City, Michigan, Cougar Volleyball. Tonight, live, the Garden City Cougars take on the Annapolis Cougars. Hi, everybody. Dan York along with Rob Phillips as we bring you our second volleyball game of 2020, our second of 4 live telecasts this week on GCTV. And Rob Phillips, a good rivalry between Garden City and Annapolis has evolved over the years. And we should have a pretty decent game just from what we've seen in warm-ups tonight.
Yeah, they've got a couple quality skill players. Diamond Harris and Maisha Reese look pretty good at the net, good arm swings. Our tall girls at the net are going to have to play.
Garden City comes into this with a 5-2 record overall, 3-0 in the Western Wayne Athletic Conference. Annapolis comes into this with a 1-1 record. It's the first time that these two teams have met in 2020. Scott Weimer, the head coach of the volleyball team here at Annapolis High School, the athletic director at Annapolis, and a new coaching position for him.
Yeah, Scott's kind of coached a lot of things over there. He's coached football, he's coached baseball, he's coached softball, and now to add volleyball to his resume, jack of all trades. Good guy, that Mr. Weimer.
And been the athletic director there for a long time. I think he's been involved in everything for about 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, he was in the Lutheran system. I think he was at Lutheran Westland early on in his career, and then made the jump to the public school.
All right, Brianna Smith will serve first for the Annapolis Cougars. She is a senior. She is the #1 setter on this Annapolis team and the leader on the court for Scott Weimer's Annapolis Cougars as we bring you volleyball live on GCTV. Thanks for joining us on Facebook and on YouTube as well as on cable on GCTV as we are underway our first set, best 3 of 5. Ladishik goes up for the kill but just lobs it over. So far, neither team able to get that setup at the net that they want. Ladishik with a nice play there and the libero with a nice play for Annapolis.
You know, both teams seem to be controlling the ball pretty well. Good passes, good swings, but defensively, both teams are starting the game off very well.
And I believe that is Ramser, as you see a very nice play for the Cougars by Patel. I believe that is Ramser, who is the libero. She's wearing number 20, but her uniform number is number 1 on the roster. Kept alive by Garden City's libero. Ladishik again goes up for the kill. This is a very long rally.
You normally don't see this to start a first game. You know, both teams playing well.
So Garden City kept it alive until Annapolis made a mistake, and Skylar Piper, the sophomore libero. English is not my first language, and there's an ace for Piper.
Well, it looks like if we can get them to into some unforced errors, it'll be a good night.
Nice low serve by Piper. Ladishik with the play.
Good cover.
Set up to the weak side. Griglis tried to kill it. Ladishik just lobs it over. Already 2 long volleys to start this off. Annapolis will watch it go out of bounds. Smith wisely watches it land out of play, and a 2-1 lead for Garden City.
Yeah, Garden City's going to have to get that pass closer to the net so that setter has a better chance of putting it to the net so that we can get up and hit it down.
Yeah, we have some number discrepancies on our Annapolis roster that we will have to try to get corrected because we don't have a number 13 for the Annapolis Cougars, and we will work on that. And that kill is just long. And it's a 2-2 tie here in the first set at Garden City High School. As you see everybody wearing masks, including those on the court. Nice block right at the net by Reese.
Yeah, she's going to be trouble for us.
And an early 3-2 lead
But
for Annapolis.
the key is going to be to keep being aggressive and keep going at her.
Set up for Ledishik. That's about where she wants it. She tried to go for the open area rather than the kill. That's going to be long, and a point for Garden City. Side out for the Cougars, and they'll go back to serving. So substitution for the Cougars. Emily Wint, the junior, will come in. And Avery Hund will serve for Garden City. One of the defensive specialists. She's a sophomore. Nice serve. Set up on the strong side. Played over by Ledishik.
Hund's actually a junior, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, she had 2 real good years on the JV level before coming to the varsity.
Ledishik, and that one's long. Side out again for Annapolis.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Pace is telling her, you know, Megan, you have to get back so that you have an approach. Yeah, you can swing by jumping straight out, but you're not going to get your most power. You need to have that approach into the net.
So who I believe is Ram Sewer back to serve for Annapolis. And into the net. And a point for the Cougars. So Ledishik, the junior, the #1 setter on this Cougar team, with a very nice serve. And a point for Garden City.
And even though she didn't have to touch it, that was a good play by Caitlin Arnold to be at the net and protect for that.
Wow.
One hitting the top of the net and going over.
What a serve by Ledishik. Another hard serve. This one's got to be over, and what constitutes another ace for Megan Ledishik.
Yeah, serving well.
7-4 Garden City on top. And another ace.
Yeah, that's another number we don't have on our roster, 13, but that's who they're picking on.
So Garden City with an 8-4 lead. So side out for Annapolis. And Durya to serve. Nice low serve for the junior. Looking for some open real estate there was Kennedy Fee. Great play by the libero to keep it alive. Piper. And Garden City's lead cut to 2. And they let it go, and that is out. And a 9-6 lead now for Garden City.
That was close.
That is Caitlin Arnold on the serve. Ledishik. Oh, just out of the reach and in.
On the line. Good
Durya.
placement.
She reached back for it but couldn't make the play. Let's watch this again. Just a really deep hit. And Annapolis unable to do anything with it. Nice serve there. And unable to get there is Arnold. The Cougars lead at 10-7. We're in the first set here at Garden City High School. And Lillian Harleton, number 10, serving now for the Cougars of Annapolis, as we have Cougars on both sides tonight. From the weak side is Wint. This one's got to be over for Fee and into the net. Garden City back up by 2.
Yeah, she looked like she was a little tentative on that. She needs to just go ahead and swing, make sure you get it over.
Erica Cavanis out there. Was Cavanis out there at all the other day?
A little bit in the third game.
Okay. So Cavanis on the floor along with Kennedy Fee. Avery Hunt. So some different personnel than what we saw on Tuesday last week, or Wednesday, as Kendall Griglis comes in now for the Cougars. And Emily went back to serve. And that one will go out of bounds. Carlton knocks it a little sideways.
So there's another unforced error. So they take that pass and hit it out. Wint doing a nice job back there serving, making sure that her serves are in. The Cougars are up 14-8.
So we've got some of the numbers corrected for Annapolis as we try to do this in real time. Not all of them, though.
I'll do the best we can.
Barba with the hit there.
That's a good rundown by Wint to get to that ball.
And into the net for Smith. And Garden City increases their lead to 15-8. They play to 25, except for the 5th set. And Wint, the opposite side hitter, back to serve again.
And again, you notice her take a look over to Coach Pace. He tells her where he wants her to serve it on the court. Gives her a number 1 through 6.
And LaBar knocks it into the net. And Scott Weimer will call timeout as the Cougars have increased their lead to 16-8. So he'll try to break Garden City's momentum here in the first set at Garden City High School.
That's that veteran coaching timeout.
So here are Annapolis's upcoming games for the remainder of this year as we understand them, because all of this is in flex with depending on when you can get officials and depending who's playing volleyball and who isn't. Redford Union has elected not to play volleyball, but Annapolis will have Robichaud at their place on October 1st. They'll go to Melvindale on the 6th. They'll play Romulus at their place. And then what they call NASCARs, it's basically crossovers. You want to explain that to me? Because I sort of understand it. You don't understand it? You're an athletic director. You're supposed to know these things.
But they started this after I retired.
So basically, it's playing within your division, playing within your conference, based on records and based on the standings.
It's your better teams are going to play a second round, and then if you want to call them lower tier. Teams will play a second time, and instead of going through again and having your top team play your 7 and 8.
So your top teams play each other, and your second division teams play each other. And 17-9 lead for the Cougars. So I had a chance to talk with John Pace, the head coach of Garden City, who has been with this program for 19 years now, spent 17 years with Annapolis. As you see the play over there by Ledishik. And a point for Ledishik. But number 4 for Garden City, Raya Patel. He couldn't say enough great things about her, both as a player, but also academically, and about the amazing future he thinks that young lady's going to have. She's a senior.
You know, you look at everybody in the program, and they're just quality kids. You know, people say what they will about today's youth. We've got some quality kids here at Garden City High School.
So back to serve is Fee.
And not only is he fired up about her, but he really enjoys this whole team. And he's looking forward to the next few years because he's got a group of girls in the 8th grade that are going to be good.
And there's Patel with the dig. And Cavanis. Wow, what a power move
nice
by
swing.
Cavanis.
That was a nice fast arm swing for Erica.
So a 29 lead for Garden City. But she just snapped that one off.
Yeah, it's good to see her out there. She kind of grew up in this gym too. Her older sister Ashlyn played basketball and volleyball for us, so Erica has been around a long time.
And a substitution now for Annapolis. That is going to be Lillian Harleton back in. Checking out is Durya. We saw Reese, who played that one over with a couple of really big kills during warm-ups, and we expected that Reese and Harris might give Garden City trouble. I still suspect they might, but right now they've not been able to get the setup they need.
Yeah, they haven't had a good pass up to the setter yet.
Played over by Ladishik. Oh, and just a bad shot by Mercedes Barba.
That's a timing issue.
And a 21-9 lead for Garden City.
You know, what turned out what started out as looked like being a close game has just gotten out of hand. Garden City's just controlling things, making better passes, and not forcing anything, not making many errors.
And that's why Weimer called the timeout, to try to keep this exact thing from happening.
Correct. But we've seen it for 19 years. Coach Pace has his girls ready to play at all times.
And again, he just was gushing about this team, about how greedy they are and how focused they are, and the fact that they're still learning. This is not a senior-heavy team for Garden City. Only 3 seniors, so a lot of these players returning, as you said, a lot of young talent coming up. So he's very, very happy with this team and very happy with how hard they work.
Absolutely.
And there you see Coach Pace
in the
huddle.
And they started the season not being able to practice indoors. So they actually set up a court, had a net outside, lined right next to the gym here. And talking to Coach last week, he said, you know what, it was a great situation, and the girls made the best of it.
Well, he said
and
they really bonded. Yeah, and they really made it into a positive.
Yep.
So Garden City will break the huddle. They lead at 23-19. Again, best 3 out of 5.
And a lot of times the kids mirror the coach's attitude. So if the coach is okay with it and makes it into a, hey, this is what we're doing, it's fine, the kids go with it.
Well, he gave a lot of credit to the kids, though. As you see, a point for Griglis. And how their positive attitude has rubbed off even on the JV kids.
Yeah, and that's all part of being a program. You want to see your varsity kids setting the example for the JV kids, and even though they're not practicing together, they kind of mentor them. They mentor them in the locker room on a bus ride there and back.
And this is Brianna Smith back to serve. And you talk about a program. When you think about a program at Garden City, although we have some great coaches and some sports that are doing very well, you look to John Pace, you look to Barry Patterson for the softball and volleyball programs that have been consistently very good to great for the past 20 years.
Yeah, and the only thing we haven't seen with the volleyball program, as we have a double hit, is that the district championships. But when you're in the district with teams that consistently either make the finals or the Final Four, it's kind of hard to win a district. The Churchills, the Stevensons, back when Ladywood was open, we ran into some really tough teams, and we battled with them. But we just had issues.
Ladishik does a great job finding the open space. That is set point and a 25-11 win for Garden City in game number 1 or set number 1 here at Garden City High School. An impressive performance by Garden City in that set.
Absolutely. Coach Pace got to be happy. Annapolis came out playing really well. They were keeping balls alive. They were getting to them. They were hitting the ball. Garden City kept the pressure on. Ladishik swung well. Wint played well. Griglis, we saw Erica Cavanis. Avery Hun came in. Raya Patel, Skylar Piper. I mean, it was a whole team effort.
Well, speaking of a team effort, we want to thank our friends at Incorporate, located kitty corner across the street from Garden City High School. They are the official gear provider for the city of Garden City and for Omni Edition Sports and GCTV, and we cannot thank them enough for all the great apparel that they have given to the volunteers and crew here at Omni Edition Sports and GCTV. Jim Neve, a legacy in this town. We want to thank him, Sharon Giangrande, and all the great folks at Incorporate. Visit their website, incorporategraphics.com, incorporategraphics.com, and that is one of our favorite folks here in Garden City, and we can't thank them enough for everything that they do for Omni Edition Sports and GCTV.
Absolutely. Good quality people there.
You were talking about the teams that Garden City has to play in the districts. For just a second, we saw the football districts come out the other day, and Garden City playing Division III in a season where everybody is going into the playoffs. I know a handful of teams have opted not to play. Some of the teams are 8-team football. Some of the teams are not playing football until the spring. So it narrows it down to about 500, it looked like, from the list. But, oh, my goodness, the buzzsaw that our Garden City Cougar football team has ahead of them no matter what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Birmingham Brother Rice, who's a power every year, not just in that division. They're a power when they play Division I and Division II teams. But Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Chelsea, Divine Child, Redford Thurston, it's going to be brutal.
And Garden City playing pretty good so far with a 2-0 record. They played a couple of ugly games and came out with a couple of ugly wins. We'll have the live telecast of Friday's game right here on Omni Edition Sports and GCTVs when Garden City takes on Annapolis again, but this time in football.
And we'll go back to that old saying, an ugly win is better than a beautiful loss.
A win's a win, and we'll take it.
Absolutely.
And obviously football, as you see the COVID setup here at Garden City High School for all of the fans as they come in. The fans are all restricted to one side of the bleachers. They can't sit with the near the players. The players, as you see, are all social distanced on the other side of the floor. And everybody doing their best to follow the rules as the best they can.
And our trainer comes out and she sanitizes the top, sides, and bottom of the net.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a team effort by everybody just to allow this to happen, and we can't thank everybody enough. And even the volunteers that help televise these games, we will have televised 8 games in about 3 weeks between volleyball, soccer, and football. When all is said and done, we normally televise 8 games in an entire school year. So I want to thank everybody and all of the things we figured out, because normally we can't televise football and volleyball in the same week. So my thanks to Christian Gibbons and Jason Merrill and Zach King for figuring this all out for us, though, so we could bring you all of these games live right here on GCTV. We had council on Monday, too, so 4 things live this week.
Busy guys. And, as somebody who worked here, it was always a pleasure coming in and seeing you guys when you were televising. You know, some of those guys I only see. That one went outside the antenna.
Okay.
So that's what that signal was. But, you know, guys like Jason Merrill, I really don't see him very often except for when you're televising games, and it's always a pleasure.
And most of these guys, not all of them, but most of them went to Garden City schools. Set up and comes to the weak side. Played over by Piper. Nice job by Ledishik to keep it alive. Played over by Fee. Going for the kill and into the net was Lillian Harleton.
But Griglis and Cavanis were there, so she didn't have very many places she could hit.
So an early 2-0 lead for Garden City. They lead it 1-0. Set up on the weak side again. Knocked over nicely by Griglis. Patel. Ledishik. And Ledishik with the kill.
Nice, use the block and hit it off of him. You know, you've been around a long time when some of these players' parents were your students.
Yeah, no kidding.
Kendall Griglis' mom was one of my former students.
Well, being that I'm 75 years older than you are, we have grandparents too, right?
Exactly.
Cavanis with the hit over. I think that's going to work out for Garden City.
You know, I didn't have either one of her parents in class, but Ledishik's mom and dad were both Garden City products.
Mm-hmm. Fee with the ace.
Nice ace.
So Kennedy Fee, the sophomore. And a quick timeout by Annapolis as Garden City has run out to a 5-0 lead. And Scott Weimer again just trying to break up this momentum that Garden City seems to be building since about the midpoint of the first set.
Yeah, I think it was 10-8 in that first set when Garden City started their run, and then kept it going and started this game off fast.
Now we talked about the districts for football. Let's take a look at the district pairings for Garden City Volleyball. As you said, pretty tough competition there with Dearborn High School, Divine Child, Crestwood, which is a team in Garden City's conference, and then Churchill and Franklin, all pretty good volleyball schools.
Yeah, you look at Dearborn. Their coach has been there a long time. Divine Child's always tough. Crestwood we actually saw in a quad. And if my memory serves me right, you said they beat us in the quad.
In the quad, yes.
Well, we still have to play them in league play, so
and
that'll be.
And we have beat them in league play.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so we're 1-1 against Crestwood, but officially 1-0 against them in the conference. Nice knock over there. Ledishik blocked at the net. Nice block. Labar with a nice job to send that back to the Garden City side. Patel, Ledishik. Nice rally again here, like we had in the first game, and nice job.
Nice.
Oh, my. Ledishik tries to find the end. That might have been out.
That's a good volley right there, Dan. Good cover by Piper.
Cavanis with that just power kill. Kept alive by Annapolis. Cavanis again, and that's going to be long.
Little deep.
What a great rally, though, for both teams. Cavanis with a couple of monster hits.
Yeah, she's tall enough. That arm swing is right about the top of the net.
Smith to serve. Griglis with the dig. Set up on the weak side for Griglis. And into the net by Smith. Garden City increases their lead to 6-1, and Kaylin Arnold, the freshman, will come back in for Garden City. As Griglis, or Piper rather, the libero, goes to serve. Piper.
Griglis has got a deceiving swing. She doesn't look like she swings very hard, but she hits the ball well.
Skylar Piper will go back to serve again. Harris. And Harleton struggled with that one.
And that goes back to that first pass. You know, if you've got to scramble after that first pass, you're in trouble. You're not going to be able to set anything up.
And there's an ace. As Diamond Harris unable to handle that serve from Piper. An impressive series for Piper.
That pass right on the net.
Ledishik,
Nice.
And Ledishik with the kill.
That was almost picture perfect, Dan.
That's how you draw it up, isn't it?
Yep.
Strong side kill.
Pass that kill. Or should we just say spike? We want to be politically correct.
Oh, leave me alone from that stuff. So we have 5 that checks in for Annapolis. We had 5 as Mariah McCray, but then we were told that was number 20, Mariah McCray, so we don't know who 5 is for Annapolis. Kevin Kramus, the PA announcer here at Garden City High School tonight, says Mariah McCray, but we'll have to
We'll
see.
see.
We apologize to the McCray family. Set up by Piper. All right, so we have a confirmation on McCray. All right, Gibby, I'm going to ask you just because I have no beautiful way to do this. 20 is McCray. And 5, do we know who 5 is? All right, very good. Rhiannon Flores, who was working in our control room back at City Hall. There she is on the right. She graduated from Annapolis High School, so she's able to sort out some of them for us. Yeah, and you know, from a mile away, but like 1,000 feet, but still almost a mile away. We want to thank everybody. This is, again, what we're able to do. These are called Remy's, where we're able to keep half the crew back at City Hall and only have limited amount of equipment here. We want to thank the Buildings and Grounds and the IT department here at Garden City High School for all of the support they've provided us over the past couple of months, installing just miles and miles of wire. They didn't install the fiber between here and City Hall, but they did install all kinds of wire here in the gym for us, and we thank them for that. There's the set. Piper.
Oh.
Nice job by Ledishik to recover.
Piper got away with one there.
Nice. Ledishik over.
There they go scrambling. This should be an easy one for us.
Annapolis settles back down. Piper.
Get to it.
Oh. Got a little too deep for Kennedy Fee. Garden City's lead is 10-4. And that will be out of bounds. And another point for Annapolis. They pull within 5, 10-5.
All right. Got to get back there and communicate a little better. Make sure we know who's calling the ball and get that good pass.
And there's an ace. And the mysterious number 5, again, we don't know who she is, but she comes up with the ace. Played from the back row. This has got to be over. Set up for Ledishik. And that'll go out of bounds. It'll be side out for Garden City. And a substitution for the Garden City Cougars is Avery Hund will come back in for Garden City along with Emily Wint. And Hund will go back to serve for the Cougars. Hund, the defensive specialist for Garden City, or a defensive specialist for Garden City, I should say.
Yep, meaning that she's gonna play the back row.
And that'll be out of bounds and a point for the Cougars. And a lot of that's just height, right? I mean, it's just you know, the logic of you need the taller players up front.
Yep, sometimes.
Hund with a beautiful serve. And out of bounds and a point for the Cougars. They lead it 13-6. And a point for Garden City.
Nope, point for Annapolis.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Came down on our side.
We're still trying to chase down numbers. LaBar. All right, so apparently McCrae has been putting the libero jersey off and on. That's what's getting us. That's where they got us. Because they also have Ram Sewer, who's wearing the libero jersey. So at one point, they both had them on the bench.
All right, there we just saw Harris with the first dominant play at the net for the for Annapolis.
Still the Cougars, right?
Yeah, still the Cougars.
13-8 Garden City on top. Ledishik, right where she wants to be.
Great
This
swing.
is live, though. And Annapolis won't be able to save the point, but a great shot by Ledishik. We should mention, by the way, I assume, because I know they can do it in college, you can hit with anything, right? It doesn't have to be your hand.
Correct.
You can hit with your foot. You can hit with your head. You can hit with your arm as long as you don't double hit the ball.
Unless it's the first hard ball over the net.
Okay.
It can double hit on you, but it can't roll.
All right. So Ledishik back to serve. The number one setter on this Garden City team. She had several aces in the first set.
And one of our top hitters. Oh.
And right at the net, that was a beautiful play by Kaylin Arnold, the freshman, by the way.
That was definitely a nice block. She got good penetration over the net and blocked that ball straight down.
Yeah, here it is. That's perfect positioning.
Yeah.
And an ace for the Cougars. Ledishik with another ace. Substitution for the Cougars. Kennedy Norwick, number 9, comes in. That's a beautiful serve by Ledishik. Ledishik with the pass. Played over by Wint.
Good play.
Decides to play it over.
Got Avery Hun back there.
And a whiff.
Patrolling the back line.
Reese with the right idea, but she just whiffed on it. And an 18-8 lead for Garden City. Another substitution for Garden City. Sydney Norwick will come in for Garden City. And Emily Wint will check out.
No.
Gave him right back to him. From the strong side, the deflection work there for Kennedy Norwick. Annapolis helped her out.
Got to be a confidence booster for you to come in and get a kill.
And Annapolis will call a timeout with a 19-8 lead for Garden City. As again, you see sunset over Ford Road, or yeah, that's right, Ford Road, Middle Belt in Garden City tonight.
Almost looks like some rain out there.
I don't know, just looks like fall. Let's take a look at Garden City's upcoming games. They will have a game against Romulus on the road, and then they will be home versus Melvindale and Riverview against Melvindale on October 8th. That's another GCTV telecast. And then against Riverview on the 13th. And then those NASCARs won't all be here at home. Those will be distributed. I know we have one of those at home. I'm not sure if we have more than one at home. And then Garden City will wrap it up against Cabrini at Cabrini before they head into the postseason and district play.
Just odd not seeing tournaments on there. They're not allowed
Yeah, we
to
didn't talk much about that today.
The big tournaments, but they can do tri and quads.
Which is what Garden City did the other day, played a quad with Wayne and Etzel Ford Crestwood in themselves, I believe. Again, everything different this year.
Oh,
going in for the kill
swing.
is Kennedy Norwick, and the junior from the strong side looks impressive coming off the bench.
That's two nice plays by her in a row. Good to see.
With Ledishik in the serving position, nice to see Norwick on that strong side. Ledishik with the pass. From the weak side that time. And the other Norwick, Sydney Norwick, with the point. And a 21-8 lead for Garden City. Deep serve. Nice job by Ledishik. That comes over, and I believe that was Reese on the kill.
Yeah. You can't give her those free balls like that. She's going to put that down probably 99% of the time.
And Harleton now will be serving. And unable to handle it there was Sydney Norwick.
Yeah, she's got to be quicker. She's got to make sure she gets to that ball. It's a little tight to the net, but you still have to be able to save that.
21-10 lead for Garden City.
Good pass by Avery.
Ledishik decides to play it over on this instead of setting it.
Called a dump.
Oh, and Skylar Piper into the net. We welcome everyone watching us live tonight on YouTube and on Facebook, as well as GCTV. Piper and kind of got into the way of Avery Hund.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Piper's usually pretty consistent with that first pass, but not taking anything away from Diamond Harris. That was a good serve.
Play to the strong side. That'll be long. All right, that is Harris. I apologize. I think I identified her incorrectly earlier. I couldn't tell the difference between the 8 and the 0 on the jersey. By the way, those of you that are watching us on GCTV, on cable, on Comcast, while we're AT&T, we will have a significant upgrade in the picture quality. We have been producing things in high def for 10 years now, but the cable companies did not want to provide us with a high def channel on their cable systems, and probably by the first of the year, oh my God, that was a beautiful shot. That was Arnold, I believe. That was a nice shot.
It was.
And so they'll be providing, Comcast will at least give us a digital channel, which is going to improve the channel significantly. It won't be high def, but it'll be significantly better, and then we'll have a high def channel on WOW. So look for that after Christmas, we hope, at the latest, as Brittany Terrell comes in for the Cougars. That's a beautiful ace right there.
Yep, I think Garden City smells that victory, and they're starting to push a little bit.
So Arnold with the ace, back to serve. Deep. This one needs to be over. That one's deep also. That might have been out had they let it go. It was in that no man's land where you've got to play it. Garden City caught a break there as Arnold made a great play on the floor, but really set Annapolis up. Arnold again. And Ladishik decides to play it over and gets the point. And we're at set point for Garden City.
That's good court vision and good court sense to know that dump in the middle there. It's called a soft dump is going to work.
And that'll be an ace. And Garden City wins set number 2 by a score of 25-13. And a pretty impressive outing so far for Garden City against the Annapolis Cougars.
And once again, as we mentioned last week, they are not switching sides.
Right, everybody stays in the same place to try to minimize the contact and the contamination of the seats, whatever you want to call it.
And the girls are pretty much assigned a seat. They go back to the same seat when they're not on the court.
Hey, we want to thank Lori, Matt, and everybody at Sports Venue. They have continued for years now to provide food for the volunteers here at Omni Edition Sports and GCTV, and they continue to. They continued during the pandemic when they weren't even open. So we thank, or they're open to the public outside, but they weren't open on the inside. So we want to thank them for everything that they have done for us and all of the food they have provided for the volunteers. Most of the people that work these shoots here on Omni Edition Sports and GCTV, they're all volunteers. So at least we can do is feed them, and we want to thank them very much for providing that food as they have done. They're great neighbors in our community, and we thank Sports Venue for everything they do for us.
Good wingdings. Chicken wings.
We just had those Monday after council. There you see Garden City's bench. Bruce Burke, who's been with John Pace for just about as long as John's been here.
And he was a longtime coach down at Woodhaven. Had a very successful career down there.
It's got to be frustrating for coaches to try to communicate to their players, because honestly a lot of it is reading lips, because you have to hear over the noise and the screaming and the yelling.
Or facial expressions, which you can't see.
Yeah, the kids have been great about this. Let's not kid ourselves. They have been wonderful about this. They have been troopers. They have done their best to follow the rules as hard as some of the rules are to follow. And, here they are playing.
Yep.
Here they are playing. I did not think we'd be here.
Truthfully, Dan, neither did I.
I did not think we would play until spring. I didn't think we'd play indoor sports at all, and I didn't think we'd play anything until spring. So we'll see how things play out as we start to close things up and start to move everything indoors as the weather turns colder. We'll see what's able to continue.
Early on, it was hard to watch all the states around us playing and us not being able to play. Fortunately, they gave us a shot, and we're doing just about everything they're asking of us.
And there don't appear to be noticeable changes in the count, at least related to this. There don't appear to be any outbreaks. There hasn't been very many. There have been a couple of football games canceled. I know Country Day and Cranbrook canceled a couple, or at least, and I don't know how many others were canceled. But so Garden City leads it 3-0. They can put this, or 2-0 rather. They can put this away right now, looking for victory number 3. As you see our socially distanced crowd here at Garden City High School. Dan York along with Rob Phillips live on GCTV. And, of course, if you don't catch us live, you can, of course, watch it back on YouTube, on Facebook. And, of course, we'll play it back on GCTV, too. And as we convert to our digital and high-def channels, we'll be doing some tech work on our channel, so you may turn on the channel. It might not look right every once in a while. So, we're freaking this thing out.
Well, Dan, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity again. I always enjoy sitting in the booth with you.
I've always thought of it more of a hostage situation, not really an opportunity for you. Durhia back to serve. I texted Rob about, I don't know, 6:15 or something. It was like, you coming? You're still coming, right? You know you're supposed to be here, right? Ladishik.
Yep, and you know the weather was nice enough. I actually walked up here.
Oh, that's nice. Reese at the net tried to make the block, but it went out of bounds. And Garden City leads at 1-0. Yes, this has actually been a great stretch of weather. It's a little cooler than it's been, and it's cooling off at night now. But what a great stretch of weather. Going up there is Reese.
Yep, she tried to place that and kind of finesse that, and she should have just gone up and hit it.
So back to serve is Piper. Trying to play it into the open spot, but getting the point. There was Reese. So Reese is a freshman, so she has got a lot of time to figure this out. I'm sorry, she's a junior, 5'9". I saw the 9. I saw the 9 in her height.
I had to relook. I'm
if
like,
she was a freshman, we're all in trouble, right?
Right. Now Diamond Harris, 18, is a freshman.
And a nice block by Griglis.
And Annapolis is a senior-laden team. They've got 6 seniors.
So Avery Hunn, the junior for Garden City, back to serve as John Pace signals her as to what he wants to see.
Nice serve, ace.
Very, very nice serve for Hunn as Garden City leads 4-1. That one is deep. Played by Ram Sewer. And that one's out of bounds. Was there a touch is the question.
Nope.
Apparently
no
not.
touch.
And a 5-1 lead for Garden City.
And Honda's just like the working class player. She just puts herself in the right place, does things well, not gonna dazzle you with you know, always having to make spectacular plays because she puts herself in the right position.
There's Hund on the pass. Ladishik plays it over. Ladishik again. Set up for Wint. Play at the net. Loose ball, and Garden City will get the point. So Avery Hund continues this serve.
Now it's real easy to talk, you know, about how well our front line's playing, but you know the back row players are playing really well too.
Set up to the weak side.
Nice swing by Wint.
Piper. Ladishik gets it over. And right into the net by Harlton. A point for Garden City as they lead it 7-1 here in our third set. And Scott Weimer will call timeout and try to slow this train down. Down 2-0. At least try to keep Garden City at bay as long as they can.
Yep, Coach Weimer just kind of a matter-of-fact kind of guy. You're not going to see a tremendous amount of emotion come out of him. He's just even keel, and he's going to tell you the way it is.
Here, see John Pace. We said he's been here for 19 years after coaching at Annapolis for 17 years. We talked about Pace, a long volleyball coaches that have come through Garden City.
Absolutely.
He was hassling Patel before the game, asking her what her 5 school choices were, because apparently she is quite the academic student. And her choices were NYU, UCLA, UT, Michigan, or Chicago, Illinois, Chicago, I don't know what they even call it, Gibby, but it's what's in the Horizon League, the University of Illinois at Chicago or whatever it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
So 7-1 is the lead for Garden City.
Yeah, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah. As you see Ledishik go up for the kill. Nice block at the net by Reese, along with Harris. Played over by Ledishik, but it's out of play.
She tried to catch him off balance.
And if she had hit her location, it would have worked.
Yep.
All right, so this is Akira Ram Sewer, the senior. According to Scott Weimer, she hits very well from the back row. Boy, that just crawled over. Weak side, Wint. Dumps it over. Going in for the kill is Harleton. She came up a little short. This is the block at the net, I believe. Oh, no, this is the great play by the libero. Okay. Ledishik with a really nice serve. And Ramsor, who returned it, turns it into a point.
Megan covered a lot of ground to get to that ball.
And this is Harris on the serve. It'll be side out Garden City. And back to serve now is Arnold for the Cougars.
And we had Erica Cavanis check back in.
Played over. Arnold. And that one is out for Kennedy Fee. The libero comes back in, Kyler Piper, the sophomore. Yeah, Garden City will lose some serious talent at the end of this year, but they keep some serious talent. I believe that was
there.
Off of Hund.
That was a good hard serve. That was one of those in-betweeners. Right height, you're just, if you let it go, you don't know. Kind of a last-minute decision on whether you take it or not. She tried a little late.
I think we're confirming the score.
Either the score or the lineup.
There you see Cindy Phillips, Rob's wife, who's keeping track of the score and the rotation. And if you get through an entire match of volleyball without having to do this at least once, you're pretty lucky.
Absolutely. So, and she's doing the scoreboard too, so.
Mm-hmm. So it is 9-5 is the score.
In the old days, we had two people, one doing the book and one doing the scoreboard.
Right.
All right, so they've updated the score to 9-5.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Harleton continuing to serve for Annapolis. That's going to be long, and luckily Garden City didn't make any contact with it. Piper and Hun both had ideas.
Yep.
So side out Garden City, and Emily Wint, the junior, back to serve. And Wint will come out, and Sydney Norwick will sub in. I was about to say Wint has had a pretty good day at the service line.
Yep.
But with Garden City up 10-5 and leading 2-0, I think Coach Pace just wants to rotate his personnel and give everybody a lot of playing time.
And if you don't see them serve in game situations, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get when they, if it's crunch time and you have to put them in and have a serve.
And played into the net there by LaBar. And Garden City up 11-5.
And Brittany Terrell right there at the net to kind of force that error.
Back row. Yeah, tough spot.
Yep.
Tough spot for Brittany Terrell.
But she stayed aggressive, and that's what you like to see as a coach.
John Pace made an interesting observation as LaBar is back to serve. And this sounds very much like something Barry Patterson would say as you see Garden City with the point that he was concerned they had played too many matches in a row, not because they were tired, but he wanted them back in practice to re-emphasize what he wanted them to focus on. And after having 3 days in a row with no practice, he said they started to get a little sloppy. So I was not expecting him to, when he told me that he, was concerned about 3 games in a row, I immediately thought it was about being tired.
Yep.
And as you see the ace there.
Yeah, it's real easy to get into some bad habits.
So Kennedy Fee back to serve for the Garden City Cougars as they lead it 2-0. They lead this set 13-6. Ledishik.
Nice placement.
But just a little out. And honestly, Harleton tried her best to make the play.
She did.
And had she not whiffed on it, that would have been a Garden City point. And Harleton will come out, and Mariah McCrae will come in, senior for Annapolis. Yeah, Coach Weimer saw her go down pretty hard, got her out of there. Lalania Duria to serve. Set, Ledishik, and point for the Cougars.
Yep, nice down the line hit.
So Patel will come back in for Garden City. And Piper, the libero, will serve. Garden City up by 7. Patel, nice job to keep it alive. Patel plays it over. Back row. Ledishik with the pass. And point for the Cougars.
Good placement there by Griglis.
So 15-7 lead for Garden City. Set number 3 here at Garden City High School. And that's an ace. Garden City has had plenty of those here today.
Yep, I know they work a lot on their services, and like I said earlier, Coach Pace calls his placement, and during practice, some of the games.
There's an ace.
Is how many times girls can hit where he calls.
An impressive run here for Piper. And a tough play for Smith. We'll also have varsity soccer here on GCTV tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful placement.
Live at 5:30. Earlier start for boys soccer this year. 5:30 start as Coach Schwiemer will call timeout. And then we'll have Cougar football on Friday beginning at 7 o'clock. all live in high def on Facebook and on YouTube. And there you see it. Soccer coming up tomorrow against the Thurston Eagles. 5:30 start. Western Wayne Athletic Conference action. Christian Gibbons will be handling the play-by-play for that one. And then the final football game at home this year for Garden City, barring a playoff game here at Garden City High School. The Cougars will take on Annapolis, 6:50 for the pregame, and 7 o'clock for the kickoff right here on GCTV. Again, streamed live to Facebook and YouTube, and available also on GCTV. And for some of the games, go ahead. For some of the games that we don't televise, the Garden City Schools subscribe to a service called Pixelot, where you can pay a small fee and watch the games on a camera that is mounted in the gym and a camera that is mounted at the football field that does kind of a virtual movement. It's actually 3 or 5 cameras, I can't remember how many, built into housing, and then it just seamlessly, there you see it, it just kind of seamlessly moves, and here it looks like it's only 2 on the inside maybe, but outside there's more, and it just seamlessly follows the ball. It's not perfect, but it's, considering you can't get out and come see a game unless you're one of the parents of the athletes, that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, and the subscription's only like $11. So
is that a month, a year? Or?
I think it might be for this season.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
No.
We're free, though, you know.
Right. And you've got commentary.
And we're worth every penny of it.
Absolutely.
Ledishik goes for the kill, and she's long.
So long.
19-8, Garden City on top. 19-9, check that. I'd pay $11 just to listen to you.
What do you mean? You're paying more than that tonight.
From the weak side. Played over by Griglis. Nice play. That's kind of what we expected from Reese all day long. She just hasn't had the opportunity.
Yeah, and a couple times she did. She tried to finesse, and that time she decided, you know what, I'm just going to put it down.
So Kellerman back to serve. Patel, Ledishik, and Ledishik with the kill. Garden City up by 10, 20-10.
Another one of those ones, I think they helped us out. That ball might have been long.
So substitutions for Garden City as Hun comes back in.
Yeah, would have been close.
But again, when you're a step or two in front of the line, you can't judge that.
Correct.
Nice pass. Ledishik. Nice spot on the floor. And she's out of bounds or hit the antenna. So 9-point lead for the Cougars. And into the net for Arnold. So Ram Sewer with Annapolis trailing by 8. Nice play over by Wint. And Wint out of position.
Yeah.
Tried to play it over her head.
And I'm sure Coach Pace is going to say something to her.
So Annapolis pulls within 7. And this one will be out of bounds, and a point for the Cougars. Side out. And Ledishik back to serve. And with 4 points to a Cougar victory, wouldn't be surprised to see Ledishik finish it off right here. From the strong side. And a mistake there by Annapolis. 22-13. Substitution for the Cougars, Norwick in. Kennedy Norwick, I should specify, I guess. Ledishik, what a monster serve. Great return, though. And into the open spot and side out. Annapolis, I thought Ledishik would finish it off, and she had a great serve.
Yeah.
But Garden City got caught a little out of position.
Yeah, we got caught a little flat-footed.
So Brianna Smith, the senior, her team trailing by 8. That one got over. Ledishik from the weak side. Those last couple of points are the hardest ones.
Yep, you just don't want to let them have too big of a rally. And get this back, and then you only have 2 points to get.
And Wint with a kill.
As a defensive player, you have to remember that she's left-handed. So you know, unless you keep that in your head, you go up for the block and then say, "Oh, uh-oh."
Uh-oh, exactly. So Wint comes out. So Arnold back to serve for Garden City. Nice deep serve, nice play by Ram Sewer. Blocked. Saved. This one needs to be over. Ledishik again back to Ram Sewer. And long and set point for Garden City. So match point for Kaylin Arnold.
You know, the nice thing is we've never seen our girls panic. You get in a situation and they just go back to doing what they're supposed to be doing.
And that goes back up with, to what John Pace said about this team just never stops working. And he has had a lot of talented players, and the way he gushed about this team, that was very impressive. Skylar Piper back in. Still match point for Garden City. McCray back to serve. Good dip. This could be it. Nice shot by Sydney Norwick.
No, it didn't touch anything. Did not touch anything.
So it probably went out of camera frame. So what happened is the ball went up and over the curtain, didn't touch the curtain. I don't know what the house ground rule is for that. I'm not sure.
As long as it doesn't touch anything.
Okay. And Garden City just caught off guard, but it doesn't matter as Sydney Norwick with the kill, and Garden City with a 25-17 win, and they end up winning it 3-0, and an impressive performance tonight by this Garden City Cougar team that we've seen 2 times in a row here on GCTV.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, they don't panic. They just go ahead and they do what they need to do. Do everything Coach Pace asks them to do. Don't panic, and just play solid.
Well, we want to thank everybody who helped us out on this live telecast tonight. Malik Mansour, Eli Wasson on cameras, along with Jason Merrill. We want to thank also everybody that came out earlier today to take care of this setup, at least with school out. We can show up anytime we want and start setting up the equipment. We want to thank everybody back at City Hall. Christian Gibbons, our producer and director. Zach King, who has been the producer here at Garden City High School and floating back and forth between the two buildings. And Rhiannon Flores, who was handling the graphics tonight. And Zach Witt, who also handled replay and was one of our associate producers. So that's it. Soccer tomorrow here on GCTV at 5:30 as the Cougars take on Thurston. And then football here on GCTV on Friday when Garden City takes on Annapolis. That is a 6:50 pregame show, 7 o'clock for the broadcast. There you see the kids back at City Hall. So for Rob Phillips, this is Dan York saying so long from Garden City High School. Again, the final. Garden City wins it 3-0. Thanks for watching and good night, everybody.